Alexander Cross, criminal defense here in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you'd like to learn more about criminal defense, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Law Offices of Cross and Associates. So we received an interesting inquiry here on our YouTube channel. This has to do with somebody who was arrested for possession of drugs in the car, an Uber driver. Criminal attorney, Palo Alto. Drug attorney, Palo Alto. Possession of drugs, Palo Alto. Drug dealer, Palo Alto. Let's see. I'm an Uber driver. One day, a woman forgot a bag in the car. I didn't want to say anything. At the end of the day, I ran a stop sign and a policeman stopped me. When filling out my ticket, he saw the woman's bag at the feet of the passenger side. He asked to see it. On opening it, I realized that it had drugs and I was arrested. He didn't believe that a passenger had forgotten it. Well, here's an interesting thing. You didn't have to let him see the woman's bag. Now, if the woman's bag was there and the drugs were falling out of it and you could clearly see a bag with white substance, well then, yeah, he would have probable cause to do a search and arrest. But just because he saw the bag, that does not give the police officer the right to say, hey, let me see what's inside that bag. He can't do that, all right? Now, it's your fault if you allowed him to see it. But remember, that's your fault. Remember, you have the right to remain silent. You should never, ever, ever turn something like that into the police. You should always refuse it. You could have just gotten away with this and it would have been a problem. It wouldn't have been a problem. But, okay. So, he opened it and he saw the drugs and you were arrested for possession of the drugs. So, here's the deal. You know, one thing that I've always told a lot of Uber drivers, we have a lot of clients that are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. I tell them, look, it's best to have a camera or several cameras in the vehicle with signs stating that you are being recorded. The reason is because routinely Uber drivers, Lyft drivers are accused. They're being accused of things that they just did not do. They're routinely being accused of things that they did not do. So it is best, in my opinion, to have cameras. Now, did you have possession of it? Well, if you had no idea the drugs were there, no. You legally did not have possession of it. And if that were the case, you couldn't be charged with a violation of Health and Safety Code 11350, which is possession of controlled substance. Now, if it's such a large amount that is for sale, you could have been charged with a violation of Health and Safety Code 11351, which is a felony that carries up to 4 years in state prison. And because you were transporting it in your vehicle, they could have charged you with an 11352 of the Health and Safety Code, which is transport of controlled substances for sale. That's also a felony that carries up to 5 years in state prison. In this situation, really, it's all about possession. It has nothing to do with ownership. It's about possession. Did you have control over the drugs? Well, if your story is correct, if your story is true, no, you did not actually have possession of the drugs. You didn't have possession of the drugs. However, if the police officer isn't buying your story, it's going to be necessary to go to court, enter pleas of not guilty, order copies of the police report and any other physical evidence that they might have. Now, here's the deal. If this was an Uber passenger, the question I would have is there a driver's license inside? Is there a driver's license inside the bag? Because if there's a driver's license or some kind of ID in the bag, and it matches with whoever you had as a passenger, well then the DA would have difficulty showing that you had possession of this controlled substance and that it was something that was just left there by a passenger. It would really help, honestly, if you just had cameras. In the future, get cameras and signs that clearly state that people are being recorded. It would save you a lot of headache. Regardless, if you'd like to learn more about criminal defense, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Law Offices of Cross and Associates. But if you've been accused of a crime and need representation in court, call us at 1-800-862-7677. Once again, 1-800-862-7677. On our next video, we're going to be discussing the case of somebody who stole more than $1,200 from a liquor store. Criminal attorney, Palo Alto. Possession of drugs, Palo Alto. Drug attorney, Palo Alto.